All right, welcome to a lecture on abstract writing. This is going to be a fairly short lecture. We're going to start, as always, with a PowerPoint. So we're going to look at what an abstract is, and then we'll look at how to write one. Really, at their base, an abstract is just a summary of an article, but it's more than that too. An abstract is a key component for both the reader and the writer. When conducting research, it is much faster to read a 250-word summary about an article, to catch a glimpse of the content and whether or not it will work for your paper, than it is to read a 20-page article only to find out that it doesn't fit your thesis. This is great news for anyone seeking to conduct extensive research that requires multiple academic sources. For the writer, it's a way to review the structure of your paper and make sure you have the key points you were hoping you had in the order you hope you have them in. For writing an abstract, I have a few tips for you. The first is to print out the article. This makes it much easier to manipulate the data and areas. If you're more tech savvy, you can use a program that will allow you to highlight and make notes without changing the document in question. After you have your printed document, grab a pen or pencil, read through your article, chunk the article. This might mean that you draw a line after the introduction and before the conclusion, just to get yourself started. Then you can go back and draw a line each time the article shifts to a new major point. In this manner, you're making the text more manageable. Next, grab a highlighter and look for the main points of each chunk. Sometimes they'll be at the start, sometimes in the middle. A few might not really get to the main point until the end of the chunk. So do take one chunk at a time. If you have a scientific article or an article that used data collection, be sure to underline how that information was gathered. This is an important detail that could reveal bias or the attempt to eliminate bias in the study. As such, it is often included in abstracts for academic articles because it could be key to the researcher's needs. Once you have marked your article in numerous ways, you want to go back through and look at your highlighted areas. These are your key points that you will need to include in your abstract. But you can't just write these word for word. For one, they likely won't flow well that way. And for two, it would be considered a form of plagiarism. Instead, you will construct a summary by paraphrasing what you've highlighted. This summary should not be less than half a page, but it also should not go onto a second page. It might seem easy now just hearing that, but it can be a little tricky to condense all of your highlights down. This form of condensing and making sure that you're directly where you need to be with a piece of writing is what we authors refer to as an economy of words. You have to be direct and selective. There is no room for fluff with a piece this short. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. That's all I have for you this time. I will catch you on the flip side.